There are other measures that are being taken by the Delhi government, and this is a new campaign that they've kicked off this year. They're calling it Red Light On, Vehicles Off. Our correspondent Alok, in fact, has spoken to Dr. Mukti Advani, who's a scientist working at the CRRI on the campaign against vehicle idling. So she says it was during a survey that was conducted by the institute. It was found that the two-wheelers, three-wheelers, in fact, followed this rule more when they were asked to save fuel. So we're, of course, hoping here that this rule is as much followed when people are asked to prevent air pollution. Take a listen in.
To talk on the issue, I am being joined by Mukti Advani, who is a CRRI scientist. Thank you for talking to us, ma'am. Ma'am, what will you say that it is going to help the Delhi, this campaign?
There are many ways to reduce the pollution, especially the vehicular pollution. And yes, this is one of important aspect of it. It will help us in reducing the pollution up to some extent.
Okay.
Earlier in 2018, we, along with the CRRI, we did a awareness campaign on 100 intersections of Delhi. And we have observed that switching off do help if you do the continuous and a very rigorous leveled campaigning.
Yes. Awareness is very important.
Yes. Okay. And continuous reminders kind of things is to be conveyed to the all road users. However, we have observed that car users are less in terms of percentage who have obtained this behavior compared to the two-wheelers and three-wheelers, that is auto. So more than 50, during the campaign, more than 50% of two-wheelers and three-wheelers were switching off their vehicular engine because we conveyed the benefits related to those, including the reduction in the fuel consumption, which ultimately saves some portion of their income. It is important to reduce the number of cars. That is always a first priority for any city or any country to reduce the vehicular pollution. But if we are talking about the switching of behavior, I'm saying they are unable to adopt it because of many other reasons. So compare like AC and climatic conditions. So compare to the two-wheeler and three-wheeler. They have adopted, the car people have adopted this behavior in less in proportion.
So this is the version of the CRRI. Definitely it is going to help, but more and rigorous campaigning is required on the two-wheelers and three-wheelers, at least in the national capital.
Our correspondent Alok there, but before we go ahead and get in further inputs here from Alok, let's also get in more voices here. We have Ms. Bharti Chaturvedi, environmentalist, with us on the phone line. Appreciate you being with us, Ms. Chaturvedi. In your view, to what extent is this new campaign actually going to have an impact on ground? Switching off vehicles when you're waiting at the red light junction.
Well, firstly, I think it's really very important. And it really, if it was a successful campaign, but I think we just have to have less private vehicles, first of all, on the roads of Delhi, and we need more buses, So until we actually get more buses, and replace those private vehicles, two-wheelers, three-wheelers, cars, we're still going to be saddled with a huge problem. And so I think our first priority, while we do this campaign, we should understand that this campaign it's a behavior change campaign. It should be the way that we live. It's like waste segregation. It's part of your lifestyle. But, in the medium term, we really have to move to more public transport, particularly buses.
That's right. Bharti, each time that we are faced with the air pollution crisis in the Delhi NCR region, every year, this time of the year, there are a lot of measures that are taken, but some of these that are seen as short-term measures, and then we see another announcement of another set of long-term measures, and we've been hearing this for the past 2 to 3 years at least. And none of the long-term measures really seem to be working right now. There's much more buzz about these short-term measures, inclusive of what to do about idling of cars.
So I think the problem is that they don't really take very good long-term measures. You can jolly well do campaigns when the air is really bad. But what we expect is that you would invest in buses, for example. This is, the sixth year of the Delhi government. Where are all those buses? I mean, the air was really lousy 6 years ago as well. 5 years ago, we all remember it. 3 years ago, we remember it was yellow. So I think this is also a governance deficit issue that we're looking at. And we're breathing a government deficit issue today.
Okay. Parthi Chaturvedi, environmentalist, appreciate you speaking with us here on Mirror Now. Let's also get in further details. Our correspondent Alok, who's been getting us those inputs here, various measures now that are being taken by the Delhi government here as well. Alok, this is with respect to vehicular pollution here, and more importantly, on how strongly dependent this new campaign by the Delhi government is on bringing about behavioral changes. This is largely dependent on behavioral changes. Right now, of course, there are not going to be any fines imposed on red light junctions if you aren't switching off your car.
Well, Seher, very true that behavioral changes, we are talking about behavioral changes. But if you talk about the past and the current situation, nothing has been changed. Why I am saying this? Because if you see this red light, this is near ITO red light, which my video journalist is showing you. Because it's a huge area and it's a compact area, I beg your pardon, and that's why we cannot go towards that side. I'm showing you to the red light, and this red light, if you see, there is the numbering system also there at the top of the red light, and this is the digital number system that is installed. This came into force in the national capital around 10 years ago, and this came into force just because the people should follow the traffic rules so that they could understand that that this time is left, so that they could turn off their engine and they could save their petrol also. Not only that, they could contribute in decreasing the pollution level in the city. And in fact, national capital is one of the cities where this kind of digital system came for the first time in the country. And it happened 10 years ago. So that means that what the campaign that the Delhi government is going to launch, that was started 10 years ago, but the campaigning was not done. People were not aware, and in fact, when we saw in the morning today, we talked to several people as well. They were found out that they were not switching off their vehicles, especially, and many of them were not aware of the fact that Delhi government has announced this kind of campaigning or launched this kind of campaigning. So definitely, the awareness is very much required if you want to launch this campaign. This is really fruitful. As I talked to the CRRI officials and the scientists also who work on this kind of scenario, they told us that yes, definitely it will help in decreasing the pollution level, but the rigorous campaigning is very much required, and especially on two-wheelers and three-wheelers, because for the four-wheelers vehicles, it is not possible because of the climatic condition. If the person is sitting in the AC car, he will not at all open his AC car at the time of the summer or any kind of pollutic environment. And also they try to save themselves from any kind of mischievous elements, because we all know that what happened at the red light in the national capital, where many beggars and many people, many mischievous elements also loitering around in the red light or the signals. So definitely that the people who are traveling in the car, they are less, they are not going to follow it properly, but definitely we can cater on the two-wheelers and three-wheelers. They will definitely gonna follow.
That's right.
And their numbers are very huge. Their registration numbers are very huge. So definitely it will help in the future. Definitely there are challenges for the Delhi government. We'll see that what will happen next. Back to you.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, Alok, many thanks for getting us those details, and well pointed out that this was a measure that was taken in Delhi by the previous government, which was actually 10 years ago. But now this is just a new campaign in a different name that has been kickstarted and being publicized by the current government. Hopefully, at the end of the day, it is going to bring down pollution levels.